Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to the Project 1999 Classic Everquest server, where we are continuing our guide on how to start out from absolute scratch on the server. Now, last time we created our character, a Dark Elf Warrior living in Neriak, and we went over how to use macros and some of the various UI elements. We even considered and then we started slaying some evil beasts in the newbie yard. In the meantime, we have achieved level 6, like we said we were going to, so that we can train Bash and Dodge over at the guild trainer. So why don't we hurry up and go do that now, but first, we are quite encumbered, so let us go to the nearest merchant and sell some things. Now, you might notice that I have acquired a couple of different things. Besides this lovely array of cloth armor I've been collecting from skeletons, and I don't know why that's there. I'm going to sell that. So someone came into the zone selling these two items, and he wanted 20 plat each, I think, for them, and he didn't find any buyers, so he saw me sadly sitting by the entrance, healing up, and he just simply gave them to me. And I think I gave him like 20 gold. And that person's name, I wonder if he's online. Put him on my friends list. No, he's not online. But if I just do a /friend, it just prints out the whole list. There he is. His name is Riellen. So if you ever see Riellen in game, tell him I said thank you. Again, because I am very grateful for the gift. So these items are pretty nice. They're not overpowering in any way, but we have a 9 damage, 36 delay whip, which I kind of like the whip a lot. Now this delay actually means 3.6 seconds, if you're curious. Also a nice shield. It gives me armor class 10 and a bit of save magic as well. That's actually pretty nice. So those were some very good gifts for this newbie starting out. So we do have lots of things to sell, and you can see our agility is in red because of our encumbrance. Our current weight is 128 and our max weight is 70. Your max weight is always your strength, and what happens when you become overweight is that you slow down. You can see I'm running very slow. And your agility goes down, which means you are easier to hit when you're fighting things. Now I have a bunch of items here I need to sell, so let's get that done first. Now you can see I have quite a few things in here, in my inventory, that then they're weighing me down, but one thing you might not notice is that I have a lot of copper and silver, and those coins tend to weigh quite a bit, so we're going to have to stop by the bank and change those into something better. Now, you can see I have quite a few bone chips I've been collecting, and I'm trying to collect spider silks and silver silks, spiderling silks as well, and I'm going to show you how to use those. And we want to sell this hammer. And for now, I guess we'll keep the cloth armor. We're going to come back to that just a bit later. So, the first thing I want to do is head to the warrior trainer. So, last time, if you recall, we had a little trouble with loading times, and that's because I had a virus scan unwittingly running in the background, which slowed things down. So today, I've made sure that everything is off, and we shouldn't be hindered, and our loading time should be a bit better. Because we need to zone over to Neriak Commons from Neriak 4 1/4, and we need to head to the bank and then talk to our trainer. That was much quicker loading time than last time. My disk usage was pegged at 100% last time, which really slowed things down. Thank you, Windows 10. And you can see that our sense heading is progressing quite nicely. We are now 150 out of 200 total, so that has worked out quite well. Happy with that. With a little keybind action. I'm wondering if we replace this cloth with leather instead. Think about that for a moment. For the nonce, I just want to head over to the Warrior Guild, and we're going to take the shortcut through here. And meet with our trainers directly. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to train Bash. You can see we have 0 in it. It is a skill that we must train in order to use, so we're going to train that. You can see we get a little button that we can place, and I'm going to replace sense heading for now because sense heading is quite far along. And the other thing we need to do is dodge. Again, it's awful at 0, so we train that. And I didn't get a button this time because dodge is a passive ability. And you can see now that when you train something for the first time, you basically get your levels amount of training, so it went from 0 to 6. So we'll take that. Now the other thing I want to do while we're here is I want to train tailoring, and you can see it's 0. Tailoring is a trade skill, so you can only train it 21 times. If you try to train it more than that, it says you must learn advanced trade skills in the field, which means on your own. And you can see as things progress, like sense heading, to gain 1 point in sense heading, you can train it, but it's going to cost me about 28 plat, which I have about 5 plat on me at the moment. So you can see you can train things as much as you want, but they get really expensive, and they also, of course, like I mentioned earlier, they use your practice points. So we have 6 left, so we are going to save those for a future date. And you can see now I have tailoring 21. I have my bash skill. I should have my bash skill. There it is. And I have my dodge skill in my skills list. So, fantastic. Thank you, Trainer Jarix. So now that we've trained tailoring to 21, we're going to need a small sewing kit. So, and let's not go about randomly bashing things. So let's go to our hotkeys and click on the W and hit escape to clear it out, and now I won't be bashing things randomly while I'm trying to walk around. There we go, much better. So I went up. Interesting. I meant to go out. So fortunately for us, the tailoring shop is right outside the door. Here it is. The dashing form. I just need to buy a sewing kit. And you'll notice that when you buy something, this was almost 1 plat, it was 5.8 gold. It takes from the bottom of your coin first, so that's pretty helpful. So what am I going to do with this tailoring kit? Well, actually, before I do that, the next thing I need to do is I need to make a skinning knife. So let's go to the bank. The bank is here in the Nariak Down Under. This is the bank, the burnished coin, and you just right-click on the banker. Your banking things come up. You can put money in here. Actually, while we're here, we can actually change our money from low to high. There we go. Look, we've made 7 plat already. Basically doing all this newbie stuff. Hello, Selene. That's a beautiful name. So, we need to make a skinning knife. So we need to go down to the blind fish, which is a bar, and this is where the smithing vendors hang out. I'm not sure why. So what we need is a dagger blade mold, a dagger hilt mold, and a small brick of ore. So this gentleman He sells small bricks of ore. We're going to buy one by hitting Control and left clicking on buy. It gives us our one small brick. And this lady over here is going to sell me the dagger blade mold. I'm going to buy one again. And I need a dagger hilt mold, which I don't see here. Unless I have incorrectly curved blade, dagger blade. Oh, it's definitely not here. Maybe he sells it. Uh-oh. This is a wrench in my plan. Maybe it's just called hilt mold? Maybe it's just a hilt mold, and I called it dagger hilt mold. Well, we're going to see. So we have our ore, we have our blade mold, we have our hilt mold. Now we just need a glass of water here at the refined palette. And we need one glass of water. Control click for the buy, and then I don't know if you noticed, but palette is spelled incorrectly. There should be two T's on palette. How refined, how refined. So hopefully this works. Here's our forge. You just right click on it. And a small brick of ore. Our two molds. And a water, which I think I drank. Yes, I haven't bought any water or food since the newbie food you get for free. So I'm going to have to buy some more water because apparently I'm thirsty. Now you want to stay hydrated and sated because whether or not you're thirsty affects your mana regeneration, and likewise for food, if you're hungry, that affects your health regen. So let's just buy a stack of water. There we go. So I'm a warrior, and I don't really care about being thirsty because I don't have any mana. However, you're going to get... Here we go. You're out of drink. You're going to get spammed constantly by the game if you are hungry or thirsty, and I just really rather not deal with that. So let's try this again. And... oh, I just failed. Okay, so it looks like I have the right formula, though. That's okay. Just need to go back down, get a dagger mold and a hilt mold and another block of ore. This is a smithing combine, and I have 0 in smithing, so hopefully it won't take too many tries. Small brick of ore, 1. Dagger blade, and a hilt. Let's try that again. No, we don't want to put a sword in there. No, really, we don't want to put a sword in there. Okay. Of course, we failed again. This is embarrassing. Oh well. Well, we're just going to keep on doing this until we get our skinning knife, because having a skinning knife is very handy for the work we are going to perform. Small brick. No. Yes. Dagger blade and a hilt. Ah, the joys of classic Everquest crafting, where you fail a lot and lose all the materials. So classic. There we go. And we have made our skinning knife. Now, the reason why I wanted this skinning knife was because we have all of these pelts. Some are low quality, some are medium quality. What we really want is we want low quality pelts. So what you can do with a skinny knife is let's close the forge and bring our sewing kit down here, I guess. So you can put a medium pelt in your sewing kit with a skinny knife, and what it does is it marks it down from medium to low. See, now we have a low quality wolf skin. Do the same with the bear skin. And be careful, because if you do it on a low quality wolf skin, it will turn into ruined. And let me tell you, the ruined pelts were named well because they are worthless. Here's a medium. Let's see. And we have one more. Alright, those are all low. Those are all low, and we're going to save our skinny knife because our skinny knife is going to be dear to us, as you will see. So, now we also have our sewn kit. We want to make silk threads, which you do by combining 2 spiderling silks. Now you're going to fail a lot, don't worry about it. There are plenty more spiderlings, as we've seen. And we want to make and save all of our silks. Now make sure when you are crafting, every crafting skill is basically a container. Be careful that when recipes call for multiple instances of the same thing, like for example 2 spiderling silks, you want to put them in unstacked. Stacked like items that are stacked won't work, and you'll likely just try to combine and lose your materials. So make sure when you put things into a crafting container, they're unstacked. This is classic, and if you do the wrong recipe, it usually just eats your materials. And it doesn't tell you that you did the recipe wrong, it will just eat your materials, because this is classic. So what are we going to be doing with these low quality hides and these these silk threads? Well, you may be guessing that we're going to combine the two together, and that's exactly right. And when you do that, you make leather padding, which is used in smithing recipes and sells very well in the tunnel. And in fact, leather padding is going to be our bread and butter of making our first platinum in this game. This volume seems a little loud. Let's turn down a little bit. There we go. So, I've made 20 threads and some low quality pelts. So we're going to combine these together and make padding. Now, again, don't worry if you fail the combine. There are plenty more materials where these came from. So, when we're successful, we will get a leather padding. And the good thing about leather padding is, let's see, these pelts weigh like 4 units of weight each. I think in Nora they call them stones. But when you make leather padding, they go down to 0.1. So it's going to really save us some encumbrance. So we just continue on making padding. Now this combine will trivial, it's called, at level 31 in tailoring. So you can see I just got an increase in tailoring to level 22 from 21. So at 31, it becomes what's called trivial, which means that it's easy for you to make the item. However, you don't get any more skill gains from it because it's not challenging to you. That's fine with us. We are just going to be making leather padding. You can see my encumbrance is all the way down from about, 85 to about 55. I just lost 30 pounds in pelts. was a beautiful thing. Now we have our trusty skinning knife. We can do all this in the field, and we don't have to come back here because our sewing kit is portable. So that's fantastic. Okay, so we've turned our medium quality pelts into low quality pelts, right? By dropping the skinning knife into the sewing kit and hitting combine. Great. What I generally do is, I didn't have any this time, but I turn the high quality wolf pelts into medium quality wolf pelts and then into low quality pelts as well, because I don't really plan to make anything with the wolf pelts, because there are different sizes of pelts: wolf, cat, and bear, and they make different leather armors, but they are small, medium, and large. So wolf is small, cat is medium, and bear is large. So for example, if you're an ogre, and maybe you're an ogre shaman, and you want to wear leather armor, then you need bear pelts. And actually the ruined pelts are what actually makes the leather armor. And maybe we'll do that in a moment. Let's see. So if you come across any high quality bear pelts, you want to save those, because with tailoring you can make handy 10-slot backpacks. And if you come across any high quality cat pelts, you want to save those because you can make quivers with those. And I think quivers will increase your tailoring skill to 115 if you want to go that far. Okay. So then we combined our low quality pelts with a silk thread to make leather padding. Yay, this is going to be our moneymaker. Pretty much we're going to fill backpacks with leather padding and then go to the tunnel and sell them, because a stack of 20 leather padding sells for about 200 platinum in the tunnel. That's per stack. This is going to be the bread and butter moneymaker to get started here on Project 1999. The other thing I wanted to go over is the creatures in the newbie yard are getting a bit easy for us to defeat. So we're gonna start taking multiple creatures on at the same time on purpose. So we're going to use the social aggression AI to gather up as many of the same creatures as possible, namely spiderlings, and we are going to crush them. So to do that, what we need is a fletching kit, and until now we've had to basically run up to a creature and hit him in the face with our whip and then start fighting. That's getting a bit tedious, so we want to do that from range. So we're going to fletch some arrows. So we are going to need now to hit. See how this is dash dash here on the vendor? That means they have an infinite supply of these things, and most of the time these things are stacked. So I want to buy 20 a stack at a time, so I hit shift and then buy, and it'll give me 20. So I want wooden arrow shafts, field point arrowheads, I want large groove knocks, and I want round cut fletchings. So I should have bought 20 of each of those, and we're going to combine those in our fletching kit. So to take one off the top, I hit Control left click, and we're just going to make a bunch of arrows. And they can put those in there. This little space here where it has the symbol for your class is called the auto inventory window, by the way. So if you throw things in there, it will auto inventory them, meaning that if you can wear it and you're not wearing something in that slot already, it will equip it, and like for example, it's going to the ammo slot. And if you are wearing something in that slot, or if the item is not equipable, then it will just go into your inventory. You can see that I'm failing quite a bit because my fletching is 0. That's fine. I could have trained fletching at the trainer, but it's kind of a waste of your training points because Fletching raises pretty easily on its own, unlike tailoring, which is why we spent the points. And I wanted to save those points for things that we're going to need down the road. So we'll just try to do these really quickly. Unfortunately, crafting in the classic Everquest environment is quite click heavy, but we're just going to get through this. Generally what I would do is I would make, I don't know, I would say 2 or 3 backpacks full of arrows. You go through them pretty quickly if you're rounding up basically 10 mobs at a time, so I won't put you through that torture here. I'll just simply make, you know, as many as I can with 1 stack. Let's see, fletching is going up on its own pretty well. Now this particular recipe will trivial at, I think, around 15 or 16. And then it's simply a matter of switching out these various little components of the recipe. Like you get the next more expensive knock, for example, or fletching. And of course there are very good guides on crafting on the wiki, so be sure to check them out if you're interested. Okay, just 4 more. 4 more. Look at that, fletching 4. No worries. Alright. The good thing about fletching is each combine gives you 5 arrows. So I don't think that's classic. I think actually in classic you got 1 arrow per combine, and now you want to talk about tedious. That would be tedious. Let's see. Okay. Let's see, where was I? So we're going to be making padding. It's going to trivial at 31. If you plan on doing more tailoring, we want to save the spider silks to make silk swatches, which is you do the same thing. You put 2 unstacked spider silks into the sewing kit, hit combine, you'll make a silk swatch. The swatches are used in making raw silk and cured silk armors. Probably going to jump right on into making cured silk masks if you're going to level your tailoring. Cured silk masks will trivial at 82 tailoring, and at that point you can start making your handmade backpacks with all those high quality bear pelts that you have been saving. Simply put a backpack pattern in there in the sewing kit with the high quality bear pelt, and then voila, you have your 10 slot backpack, which also has, I think, 10% weight reduction, which is very nice. And those backpacks trivial at 88. If you don't plan to leveling tail further, you can sell the spider silks for 20 plat a stack in the tunnel, and the high quality bear pelts sell for 25 plat each in the tunnel. Or you could make backpacks with those pelts and sell those for about 50 or 60 plat each. So now I also just went over fletching. Let's see. We're getting stronger than the newbie yard monsters. We want to gather a bunch of them by shooting arrows instead of running up to them. And I've just demonstrated how to do some fletching. And I think that covers everything I wanted to do today. Oh, one thing I don't have is a bow. Now, some people do fletching here, and they will sell some of their things back, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like anybody has made a bow recently. So I think to make a bow, we need a elm bow staff, and I think hemp cord, hemp twine. Let's see if we can make ourselves a bow. So here's our fletching kit. We have our staff, and we failed because we failed. So we need elm. Ah, we're out of money. Imagine that. Oh, you know what we can do is we can sell this cloth. So we burned through our first 7 or 8 plat or so. So we need a elm bow staff. We still can't afford it. How much are they? Oh, they're 2 plat each. That's why. Ooh, yikes. I should have looked at that price first. Making bows is going to be expensive. I think we'll have enough for another try. Let's see. And the hemp should be pretty cheap. Yeah, it's like 1 silver. We'll just take the 1, please. Alright. Hopefully we'll get lucky, because we're out of money! Oh, we are not lucky. Well, our fletching went up 1. Well, that puts a little crimp in my plan. And I just want to double check to see that there are no actual bows for sale. And negatory. No worries. Well, that's one of our goals for next time. So, where are we? We are level 6. What I want to do is start to make a full backpack full of leather padding. That's my next goal, as well as a full backpack full of bone chips. And I think that's all I wanted to do today. So I'm going to get that done. So the next time we check in with Relenar here, we can actually go to the tunnel and maybe make some sales. And I can tell you, as a starting player, with one of the few classes that I recommended, what to start looking for to buy your character while you're in the tunnel. So, until then, I'm going to be continuing to gather more materials, and yeah, until next time, safe travels.